Hey, hi all. Welcome to the channel. Hope you all are doing good. So today we'll talk about structure query language, that is SQL. So SQL is basically common language across all the relational database management system. So all the leading RDBMS like Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL all are using SQL. So SQL is basically dominating IT industries over 40 years. One of the important feature of SQL is that it's quite consistent. If we compare it with other programming language like Java, Python, C Sharp, okay, all these languages have got significant amount of changes over the period of time. But SQL has got very less changes if we compare it with its initial version. Okay, so in that way, it's quite consistent. Looking at the current market trend, as we see need of more data analysis and data science work, SQL is still going to dominate in the industries. So in this particular video, we are going to understand what exactly is SQL, what's the history of SQL, why we should use SQL, okay, and different components of SQL. So let's start the session, but before that, if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe it, okay? So let's talk about SQL. Okay, so SQL basically stands for structured query language. Okay, it's a language used for managing and manipulating relational databases. So it's a language of databases. When I am saying it's a language of databases, it means the way we human can interact and communicate with different people using languages like English, Hindi, German. In the similar way, computer can interact with database using SQL. So we can say that it's a language of databases. Initially, it was invented in the year 1970s based on the relational data model. At that time, it was known as Structured English Query Language. Later on, the term English was removed from this particular terminology and it renamed as Structured Query Language. SQL is the product of IBM Corporation and it's a common language across all the RDBMS. Many popular databases now like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle databases, they are using SQL. So Oracle is the first vendor which commercially implemented SQL in the year 1979. SQL is commonly used for CRUD operations like create, read, update and delete. Okay, using SQL, one can create and maintain any sort of data objects, okay, such as table, views, sequences, etc. This is also quite useful in data analysis, reporting, data science and maintaining data integrity. Okay, now let's talk about history of SQL. So in the year 1970, Edgar F. Code, an IBM researcher, he actually published one paper titled A Relational Model of Data for Large Shared Data Banks, which basically became the foundation or base of SQL. Then in 1974, IBM started developing relational database management system considering Code's relational model. SQL was developed as a part of this particular product. Then in 1979, relational software at that time, now it's Oracle Corporation, they released Oracle version 2, which was one of the first commercial implementation of SQL. In 1981, IBM also released the first commercial SQL-based RDBMS named SQL TS. In 1986, the American National Standard Institute (NC) they adopted SQL as a standard language for relational databases. Then, in 1987, the International Organization for Standardization (ISO) they also adopted SQL as a standard language. So that's a brief history of SQL. Over the period of time, SQL has evolved quite significantly. Different flavors of SQL are available in the market. Many advanced features are included in SQL like Windows function, JSON capabilities, object relational databases, enhancing its analytical capabilities and flexibility. Also, due to the rise of cloud computing has led to the cloud native databases offering scalable and efficient data management. Okay. Now let's talk about some pointers and features which suggest that why we should use SQL. So SQL is basically used to interact with relational databases. Okay. So main objective of any database language is that it should be efficiently able to interact with database management system. So SQL is quite good in that way. Okay. It can efficiently manage, store, retrieve and manipulate data. SQL offers scalability and great performance. Okay. So irrespective of data set, whether it's a small data set or large data set, SQL works quite efficiently. SQL provides different sort of indexes or optimization tools which basically improve database performance. SQL provides powerful data retrieval and data aggregation. Any sort of complex query can be written using SQL. Different joins can be applied as per the business requirement. Okay. Different sort of aggregation functions like min, max, sum. Okay. They can be utilized as per the business requirement. In terms of data retrieval and data aggregation, SQL functions library is quite rich. SQL provides data integrity and security. Okay. Different sort of integrity constants like primary key, foreign key, unique, null constant, all those can be imposed as per the business requirement. SQL provides robust security mechanism. Okay. User authentication, role-based access control, data encryption to protect sensitive data. SQL can easily integrate with other programming language and technology, okay, making it a versatile tool for building applications. Lastly, SQL is widely accepted as a standard language for all the DBMS. So these are some features which basically indicates that why SQL is so much powerful and why we should use SQL. SQL commands and components. So majorly, SQL component can be divided into 5 parts: DDL, DML, DCL, DQL and TCL. Now, let's try to understand what these components are. Okay. Data definition language, DDL. Okay. So as the name suggests, these commands are used to define the database objects like table, views, etc. We can define using these DDL statements. For example, create statement, rename, drop, alter, all these comes under the category of DDL. Data manipulation language, DML. Okay. So these commands are used to manipulate the database objects. Using these statements, one can manipulate the data. Okay. For example, insert, update, delete. Okay. These comes under the category of DML. Then we have data control language, DCL. So these commands are used to control the database objects. Using these statements, we can restrict access, or if we want, we can grant access. So grant and revoke, these statement comes under the category of DCL. Then we have data query language, DQL. Okay, this is used to fetch data from database. Okay, so only select statement comes under this particular category. At last, we have transaction control language, TCL. Okay, this is used to manage changes made by DML. So whatever changes user is making through DML, those can be controlled using TCL. If we want to commit the data, we can use commit statement. If we want to roll back the changes, then we can use rollback statement. So commit, rollback and save point. These 3 statements comes under the category of TCL. Okay. So we'll stop here. That's a brief of SQL. Hope you would have liked this particular video. If so, please hit the like button and please keep providing your comment in the comment box. Okay, I'll come back to you with another interesting video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. Keep watching.